Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Martin. Today I'm going to be talking about the San Jose Sharks, the offseason moves they made, and some training camp updates. Let's get right into it. This past offseason, the Sharks made a few moves. They made a couple of trades with the Minnesota Wild, and they also brought back some familiar faces in free agency. One of the very first moves that they made was a trade with the Minnesota Wild. They brought in goaltender Devan Dubnyk and his 7th round draft pick in 2022 in exchange for a 5th round draft pick in 2022. Devan Dubnyk went 12, 15, and 2 for a 3.35 goals against average and an .890 save percentage. This was worse than Martin Jones, so they're hoping that Devan Dubnyk can return to his old form and help out the Sharks in terms of goaltending to give Jones some rest. And with the shortened season, this will help out a lot, especially after 10 plus months of rest for both Jones. And Dubnyk was also part of the bubble in Edmonton with the Minnesota Wild, but were eliminated by the Vancouver Canucks. The very next move that they made was a trade again with the Minnesota Wild for forward Ryan Donato. Ryan Donato was traded to the Sharks for a 3rd round draft pick in 2021. In 62 games played, Donato had 23 points, which was good for 14 goals and 9 assists. Donato will be playing what seems to be like on the 3rd line, as said by Coach Bob Mootner in training camp. But this is our 3rd line, so things are not confirmed and settled yet in terms of when the first game comes. He's been on the line with Noah Gregor and Matt Nieto, which I'll be getting to shortly. A few other offseason moves that the Sharks made were 2 signings in free agency. They brought back 2 familiar faces. The first one being, as I said before, was forward Matt Nieto, who's with the Colorado Avalanche. And also, they brought back Sharks legend, Mr. Shark, Patrick Marleau, back from the Pittsburgh Penguins after trading him just last season so he could go and try to win the cup with the Pens, but were eliminated by the Montreal Canadiens inside the Toronto bubble during the playoffs. A couple other moves that the Sharks made was the re-signing of Stefan Noesen, who will most likely be playing on the Sharks' 4th line to add extra depth and speed. Also, the Sharks re-signed forward Kevin Labanc, who was set to be an RFA this past offseason, to a 4-year, $4.73 million average deal. Also, for the first time in franchise history, in this past NHL draft, the Sharks selected 9 players, which were all forwards for the first time. They selected 3 centers, 4 right wings, and 2 left wings. The Sharks selected 31st overall after a trade with Tampa Bay Lightning that sent Barclay Goodrow to Tampa Bay, and they sent back their 1st round draft pick last season during the trade deadline. The Sharks selected 31st overall forward Ozzy Weisblatt, 18-year-old, who is 5'10", 183 pounds, and shoots right-handed. 64 games played in the 2019-2020 season, Ozzy Weisblatt had 70 points, which were 25 goals and 45 assists, and this was for the Prince Albert Raiders of the WHL. I think to grade the Sharks' offseason moves, I'm going to give them a C+. They did bring in a new goaltender, Devan Dubnyk, who is experienced but did have a really bad season last season. His numbers were worse than Martin Jones, who had a horrible season for the Sharks. So we're banking on that Devan Dubnyk will have a comeback season and bring the Sharks back into the postseason, hopefully into the playoffs, and hopefully deep. In terms of offense and forwards, the Sharks did re-sign a couple forwards, Marleau and Nieto. Bring back to the Sharks, they're both speedy players, so they also want to bring back speed to the Sharks. Also re-signing Noesen also brings more speed because that guy's a fast player. And they also will probably be bringing up Noah Gregor onto the roster this season, who is a fast rookie, and we did see him in some games last season who looked really good. They also signed nothing but forwards in the draft, so they are working on their depth for the Barracuda and for the Sharks because we were lacking it last season. We didn't really have anything. They didn't really need to bring in more defense. I think they just really had to work on their structure because last season they didn't have it. And so hopefully, so far looking into training camp, it is looking pretty good. Mario Ferraro seems to be having some really big steps, but also Radim Simic also is still dealing with his knee injury that came back after her surgery this past summer. So we'll see where that goes. Hey guys, quick update as of January 12, 2021. This morning, the Sharks have claimed forward Rudolph Balcers from the Ottawa Senators. If that name sounds familiar, that's because he was formerly with the San Jose Sharks. He was a 2015 5th round draft pick from the Sharks. He was part of the Erik Karlsson trade. We sent Balcers along with Tierney and a couple 1st round draft picks to Ottawa for Erik Karlsson. Ottawa
put him on waiver wires yesterday, I believe. So the Sharks brought him back through claim. He's going to bring back more speed and more depth for the Sharks. I don't see him playing on the roster as of today. I'm sure they still want to see how he is when he gets back, and we might see how long that's going to take with immigration, because he is coming from Canada and he might have to quarantine for 2 weeks. With that being said, he might be on our taxi squad, or probably will have some time down with the Barracuda just to get his legs back and his speed back after quarantining. Rudolph Balcers played in 15 games with Ottawa in 2019-2020. He had 1 goal and 2 assists for 3 points. With the Belleville Senators of the AHL, he had 33 games played, 16 goals and 20 assists for 36 points.
Also, news of January 12th, 2021, it has come out that the Sharks will be sponsored by Zoom and SAP. They will have their branding on their helmets for the 2021 season. And this is only because if you see my last video with the NHL news and updates, it's come out that the NHL will have branding deals this season just on the helmets of the NHL teams, and the Sharks have decided to go with Zoom and SAP. This is no surprise because they want to bring back some revenue, because they won't be having any fans this season with the shortened season, and with the COVID-19 still out right now. You want to be safe, and the only way to make money right now is through branding and sponsorships. So if this is only for 1 or 2 seasons, I'm totally fine with that. I honestly just want hockey back, and the Sharks have decided to go with Zoom and SAP. Even bigger news as of yesterday, January 11th, has come out that Sharks forward Evander Kane has filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy for being $27 million in debt, and this is as of yesterday, and he filed for the claim on Saturday this past weekend. It is also reported by The Athletic's Daniel Kaplan that he is currently facing 6 active lawsuits. And lastly, the last bit of news is as of January 10th, the Sharks signed defender Frederick Claesson to a 1-year deal. It is also a 2-way contract, so he can play with both the Sharks and the San Jose Barracuda. In 155 career games, he has 7 goals, 21 assists, and 50 penalty minutes. This means that the Sharks redeemed Simic will be out longer than we thought. He is facing a knee injury that he rehashed this past summer. He has returned to practice, but not full on practice. He's still just putting weight on his knee as of right now, doing half practices or around 30 minutes. He did not participate in the Sharks team scrimmages, and we'll see where he'll go from here. He might have to play some time with the Barracuda if his knee is not done getting healthy again. So we'll see where this goes.
Anyways, guys, that's my video, my grade for San Jose Sharks for this past offseason. If you guys liked the video, leave a like. Subscribe if you want more Sharks or NHL videos. Anyways, have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching.